Okay, I think we want to go ahead and get started. There's not very many of us here, so maybe we're going to have to do some recruiting, talking with some people about what this is about. This is not for educators. This is for people who are interested in what's happening at our schools and how to learn themselves. So this is really for anybody. And we try to make it that way, so this will be something that can be helpful to anyone who would like to come. So spread the word. But first of all, my name's Gary Rouse. I'm the superintendent of education, and so I'm here to introduce our speaker. And I don't know if any of you know her very well or not, but anyway, Dr. Sandra Doran serves as a curriculum and creative specialist for the Hart Research, where she produces Three Angels Messages curriculum and is teaching training for grades K to 12. But before she was doing that, I know she worked for the Seventh-day Adventist school system for over 30 years. She was in the Florida Conference, I think 17 years, correct?
Yes, I was.
And she was the associate superintendent. That's how I've worked with her. But I know before that, she's taught from pre-K all the way up through college. She's written many, many articles for the Review and Herald, the Signs, and ParentTalks. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes. She's written 5 books, or is it 7 books?
I'm losing
Something
track because
something
I'm
in
writing
there.
a lot for kids.
So she has a lot of experience and a lot of information she can share with us. So let's give her a warm welcome, Dr. Sandra Doran.
Thank you. Thank you.
Before she gets started, let's have a word of prayer together. Our Father, thank you so much for being a God that cares about each and every one of us. Sometimes we think education is someplace we send our children, but it's something that happens throughout our whole life. And so as we come here today, we just hope that you will, through your Holy Spirit, work through Dr. Doran, as well as helping us hear the voice that you want us to hear, so we can become lifelong learners. It's our prayer in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Well, I'm so glad to see all of you. And I want to explain a little bit, yes, about your handout that you took over there. On the bottom, it has a website that says the teacher track. But what is the date on there? On your white paper, the white paper that you took. What is the date on there? May 2020. Okay, so in May 2020, I was asked to do this, and then what happened? COVID. Right, so aren't we all happy to be out of the house? Yeah. Was that a long 2 years for you?
Yes.
Oh, it's just wonderful to be out of the house. So at that time, and I still do, I still have my website under the teacher track, but since that time I've been working for Hart Research for Three Angels for Kids, and I created a whole curriculum for kids. So if you see the colorful flyer and my business card, that's more up to date than the teacher track. And you'll see on here, threeangelsforkids.com. This can also be a little confusing because our high school branch is called Three Angels for Today, but it gets you to the same website. Whether you put kidstoday.com.org, you can find us. So I can tell you a little bit about that at the end, but I thought that might be a little confusing where all that is going. All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about how people learn, how you learn. This could help your marriage. This could help your Sabbath school class. This could help your board. This could help your family relationships, what we're going to learn over the next week. So I know that most of you who came in had a chance to look at these items and decide whether or not they were magnetic. So I'm going to ask my assistant, being my husband, Pastor Eric Duran, who just retired, so he gets to help me, to bring me one item at a time. And I'm going to ask you if you think, okay, first of all, item number 1, what is this? The cap to a salt shaker. How many of you thought that this is magnetic? Who put yes? Okay, we have a few yeses. Who put no? All right, this is a very powerful magnet. Plastic. All right, item number 2. Let's see what you put for item 2.
Are you saying that is a magnet? No.
This is a powerful magnet. Okay?
In other words,
If it sticks to it, it's magnetic. All right. Who thinks, well, we know what this is, right? A pen. Who thinks this is magnetic? Who thinks it is not? All right, let's see. Now let's try the other end. So both answers are correct. If you put no, this answer is not. I mean, this answer is not. If you put yes, so that's a bonus for you, whatever you put. You got it right. All right. Let's see, item number 3. Now, who knows what this is? I'll give you bonus points if you know what this is. It says, the Adventist told me I'm an important natural resource. Where did I get this?
That's magnetic, in my opinion.
But where did I get this? It's a pin. Nobody recognizes this?
Not at an Office Max store.
No. I got this from what? The 1976 World's Fair or something like that. The Adventist told me I'm an important natural resource. Even in the 70s, we were trying to do things about natural resources. Is this magnetic?
Yes.
Definitely. All right. Number 4. What is this? Anybody know what this is? Okay. Said a buckle? Yeah.
That one's hard to tell, for sure.
Okay, this was something my son made when he went to Forest Lake Academy and they were teaching them some kind of soldering or something. All right, is this magnetic?
Yeah.
Why is this not magnetic?
Because it's copper.
If it's copper,
Copper and aluminum, not magnetic. All right.
What was that?
That was number 4. All right.
by the way, though, if it was the copper pipe and you dropped the magnet, it would slow the magnet down significantly because of the electrical flow as it dropped. Interesting.
Not fair, we have an electrical engineer. All right, what is this?
Magnetic.
This is part of a keychain, right? Because it has a little hole. This is not magnetic. Why is this not magnetic?
It's aluminum.
Okay.
They probably don't want it to corrode.
Okay. All right. Let's see what the next thing. What is this?
Ice cream scooper.
Anyone have an ice cream scooper that looks like this?
That's aluminum.
This, yeah, when my aunt eloped, when she was like 65 years old, she eloped in Las Vegas. But before she left, we all got to go to her house and pick anything we wanted of her stuff. And she's since deceased. She would be over 100. So this thing has been around for a while. I don't think anybody's ice cream scoop looks too much like this. All right, is it magnetic?
No.
Okay, number 6. Number 7. What is this?
Number 7. Rim for a jar.
That should be magnetic. That should be magnetic.
Canning jar, you think it's magnetic?
Magnetic.
Yes.
Look at this, how strong this
It
is.
has to hold that lid on tight to keep your food straight.
Okay, all right. All right, number 8. What is this? What kind of a coin, though? What country is this from? This is from Israel. Okay, good. Thank you for being observant. Israel. Is this Israeli coin magnetic? No? Correct. All right.
More valuable coins than not.
All right.
That was number 8.
Now, that was number 8. Now, number 9, is this a coin also? Okay, what kind of a coin is this?
Mexico.
Is this from Mexico?
Well, they did it some way.
This is Bolivia. This is from my daughter-in-law's from Bolivia. People coming in late, we ask them to look at all the items and put yes or no if they're going to be magnetic or not. Okay? All right, so this is a Boliviano. Is this Boliviano magnetic? My daughter-in-law, Amber, she comes from a pretty good country. They're not messing around over there. I just saw her yesterday. We were here. All right. What about number 9? The chain. Is this magnetic? Oh, 10. Sorry.
That would be magnetic.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Boy, those Bolivianos messed you up, though. All right. Number 11, we have another coin here, I think. This is a quarter. No. Is a quarter? You say yes? No. No? So the Bolivianos, tell ya. All right, one more thing, and we will see. What is this? Is this magnetic?
Yes.
Look at this thing is yellow.
Yeah.
Isn't it plastic?
Yes. It's magnetic.
It's magnetic.
It's magnetic.
Okay.
In order to have the strength to hold the paper together.
Okay, here you go. Here you go. Okay, so you guys we are now experiencing what we in the education field call a connect. So when we do our connect, we start, and this is going to tie into something. So what I'm going to tie this into is expectations. Were there some things that you expected to be magnetic that were not? And were there some things you did not think were going to be magnetic that were? Now, what happens if you come into a situation, and another thing we like to do in education is think, pair, share, talk to your partner. So I'm going to ask everybody to get in a little, at least with one or two other people, and talk about expectations. What happens if you have expectations of people, of children, or of other people that are not realistic? It's not in them. What happens? Take a few minutes and talk to the people around you. What happens when you have expectations that are not realistic?
I'm going to put this.
Okay. Okay.
What was your question again?
What happens when you have expectations that are not realistic for people? That it's not in their nature. They're not, you want something to be magnetic and it's not. Okay, one more minute and wrap it up in 1 minute. Okay, what happens when you have unrealistic expectations of a person? Anybody? Frustration, disappointment, I hear. You know,
It's premeditated, so it becomes an anger.
okay, anger. Yeah, anger can come out of it. Okay. I remember, we have 2 sons, and God gave us 2 sons with every problem known to man, so we can relate to everybody, literally. Our older son invented ADHD before it was around. He's now 38 and doing wonderful, but that's why I got my doctorate, was trying to figure my own kid out before ADHD was invented. So our son just invented it, and that's okay. But he has ADHD and dyslexia. So we understand attentional problems, we understand learning problems. And our younger son has a very serious physical problem. He had to undergo a transplant at the age of 30. And he also has emotional problems like borderline and bipolar and all that. So every problem known to man is embodied in our 2 sons, so we understand. But I remember when my older son, and we'll talk on Friday about disabilities in children and things. But I remember that I went to a workshop and they said you have to lower your expectations. And I thought, we're always telling, teachers, everybody, raise your expectations for kids. You should always have high expectations. But you should not have unrealistic expectations. The whole thing is, if something is not magnetic, you can't make it magnetic. You can't, if you have a certain expectation for someone to behave in the way that you behave, it's not going to work if it's not in them. So you can, when you're lowering your expectations in terms of certain behaviors, but that allows you to raise them in terms of certain other ones. And we'll talk more about that. But anyway, that's why we did this. And every day we will do a connect. We'll do a little activity for you to be involved in. But we're going to talk a little bit about expectations, about different learning styles. So you might wonder, how did all of this come about in the Southern Union that we were talking about what we're going to call format? How did all this come about? How did everyone start talking about it? Did any of you ever know Jean Brewer, who was the educational superintendent? Okay. So Jean Brewer actually met a woman by the name of Bernice McCarthy, and she's the one that designed what we call the format model. So if you've been in education, you'll know about this, and we're going to take a look at this whole model. Okay, so it starts out with this wheel, and there are two parts of it. And one thing, some people process information by acting. They have to jump right in. And other people process information by reflecting, by watching. So I'd like you to tell the person or people beside you, how do you process more? Are you somebody that you have to get right in and do it to understand it? Or do you have to reflect and watch someone else do it? So talk to... Okay. Yeah, talk to the person. Do you usually figure something out by actually doing it or by watching?
But you have to explain, when you have to do it, somebody has to explain it, right?
Like, let's say you come into a setting. Do you want to watch someone else do something, or do you want to do it to learn how to do it?
I like to do it.
I like to do it.
Okay.
So that's the acting.
So that would be acting. Mm-hmm. And we can give some examples. And think of an example of something that when you learn something, you want to get in and do it. Do you have any examples of something, skills that you've learned? Okay. All right. How many people do we have in here that are doers? They like to jump right in and do it. That's how they learn. And how many reflectors? Okay. So interesting. Okay. You can't quite...
Depends on the task.
Okay. Okay.
It depends on the task. Some things are reflective and some things are doing.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
just the way it is.
Okay. Okay. Now, there are some people who maybe they're a little more shy. They come into a setting. Let's say you were into a party. It's funny because, as Adventists, we have our forms of parties, right? Popcorn, fruit salad, and playing a few games. I was teaching at a college once, and the students couldn't believe that I didn't drink. Something came up, and they wanted to do something. I said, I don't drink. And they just couldn't believe it. And they said, have you ever drank? No, I've never had anything alcoholic drink. Well, they couldn't believe it. Well, then one day I came in and I said something about I had gone to a party, and one kid almost fell out of his seat. He said, you said you didn't drink. It's like, that was, in his mind, party was synonymous with drinking. But anyway, so let's say you're going to an Adventist party. And there's going to be a game, and you have never played the game before. I don't care if it's Pictionary or what it is. And somebody says, we're all going to play this game. What would your tendency be? To say, okay, great, let me figure out how to play the game, or let me watch for a while, and then I'll let you know. See, that kind of gives you an idea if you're a person that likes to kind of reflect and watch and figure it out, or you want to jump in the first time. Okay? Anyone have any other examples of doing versus watching? Do you have something?
Yes, I'm talking about when I was very young.
Okay.
You know, I was about 10 years old. A guy came in and told my mom it cost you $150 to fix the dishwasher. My dad says, there's no way, we're not doing this. And so the guy left. Mom looked at me and says, I'll buy you a tool if you fix my dishwasher. 15 minutes later, the dishwasher worked.
How old were you?
10 years old.
Oh, well, that's a whole other thing. That's a whole giftedness.
Well,
I don't care if...
I'm not afraid to jump in and try.
Yeah, I mean, I could jump in and try, and I'm a doer, but that dishwasher would be a mess. I mean, I'm a doer, but I don't always have the common sense. My husband over here one time asked me to go. He had some kind of a radio in his car, and he was tired. He said, he takes it out every night because it was worth something. He said, could you go get that radio? I came in with half the dashboard. So, I just pulled the whole thing off. So, yeah, but anyway, the right side of the wheel, which is going to be your quadrants 1 and 2, and we're going to talk about that, is reflectors, people who like to watch, and the other side is people who like to do. There's no right and wrong, thus the magnetic versus not magnetic. Now the next one has to do with the way, and this is a little more conceptual, but when you are getting signals, say from the world, getting signals, are you more perceiving, making sense of things by your feelings or thinking? Are you somebody that experiences strong feelings and that's how you figure out what's happening in a social setting because your feelings, or are you thinking about what's happening? So let's go back to the party. Let's say somebody didn't pick you for their team. Are you going to be processing a lot of that by feeling hurt, or are you going to be thinking in your head, boy, the reason they didn't pick me was because I had on a yellow shirt or whatever, so
maybe they have an accident or
yeah.
The police stuff.
Yeah. So talk to the people beside you. This one's a little trickier, but do you generally perceive things through experiencing things or conceptualizing, thinking about them? Talk to the person beside you a little bit about that, and then I'll show you how it all fits together. That one's a little tricky. Okay, thoughts on that? How many people think they perceive more by experiencing and feeling? How many are okay? And how many are the thinkers, the conceptualizing thinkers? Okay, it's interesting, we're getting like half and half on all of these. Uh-huh. Yeah, and people can grow and change. And you know, when I first went to the format meetings, or any meetings like this, where you take a self-assessment, which all of you are going to take a self-assessment. I have a tool that you're all going to use. It would always bother me because I thought it depends on the context too. Like there's one thing I've done consistently my entire life until this man went and retired. That was pastor's wife. You know, I've had all different jobs, but I've been a pastor's wife for 41 years as he was a pastor. And if you were to look at the kinds of ways I relate as a pastor's wife, it's totally different than how I feel like I relate as an administrator. So pastor's wife, I just enjoy the ride. I don't get on any committees. I don't tell anybody what to do, which is why I always enjoyed it. But there is some difference, I think, contextually, and maybe different times of your life. But of course, the purist who develop these kinds of things, they sort of feel like this is who you are, and no matter what, this is going to be the strong suit that's going to come through for you. I think as Christians, we all have to believe in growth and everything too. And sometimes I think maybe you have a natural way of reacting, and if you grow in certain areas, when you're under stress or something, then certain other things are going to come back. You know, it's kind of interesting. I mean, there's no right or wrong to it, but maybe, you know, certain things come back, I think. But yeah, that's a good point, that you can grow and change. Okay, so what happens with format is all of this stuff gets put together. So if you're looking at you're perceiving and processing, and this slide gets a little technical, but it all comes together so that you have your experiencing, and when we're going to look at these quadrants at the top, these two are going to have experiencing as a predominant theme. These two are going to have thinking on the bottom. Then when you look right to left, this side is going to have reflecting folded in, and this side is going to have acting. And it's funny, every time I test, I generally have come out to the same basic quadrants, but I have a backup quadrant even through the years as I've tested. But we're going to talk a little more about that, but that's the theory behind it, that the top two are you experience through your feelings. The bottom two quadrants you experience through thinking. The right side is reflecting. So in other words, if you were here, you're on the top. So in terms of perceiving, you would be which one? So you're going to be experiencing or conceptualizing if you're here. If this is on the top, then you're experiencing, and it's on the right. So you're experiencing and reflecting. You follow me? But it's not crucial that you get that, but I just wanted to show you where they all come from. And so that's where what we call the basic wheel comes from. And this is what we're going to talk about now. So this is what we call the quadrant. So people in quadrant 1 are very people-oriented. They're very social, and we're going to talk a little more about that. People in quadrant 2 are very detail-oriented. Quadrant 3 are very practical, and quadrant 4 are very visionary. And you're going to have some simple tests, and then you're going to have a technical test as well. So quadrant 1, they all have a basic question that they would ask. This is another test. People that are quadrant 1s, basically they want to know why. So if you've ever been a teacher of a Sabbath school class or a parent and the one that's always saying, but why? Why do we have to do this? Why? That's a quadrant 1. If they don't know why, you're not going to get any farther. You know, it has to have significance to them, or they're not even going to go there. All right, number 2, quadrant 2s, they want to know what. What do we have to do? Just tell me what we have to do. I want to know exactly what we have to do. I'm going to get it done. Quadrant 3, how do you do it? How? I want to know how to do it. And quadrant 4, well, what if we did it this way? You I remember in supervising teachers, I had a teacher that was very much a quadrant 2. These are the details. He said to the class, we are now all going to make a poster. I want everybody to hold their paper this way. And there was a kid in that class. He must have been a quadrant 4. He said, but how about if we hold it this way? And the teacher said, you heard what I said. You hold it this way.
And that's why kids don't like teachers.
That's why they have supervisors like me to straighten them out. He didn't do that again. I had a teacher once that was teaching little ones like in first grade, and she never smiled. So I talked to her about, these are little ones, you need to be a little warm. And she said, but it's so hard for me, to smile. And I said, well, how many times, let's set a baseline. How many times do you think you could smile like in a morning? She said, 3. I said, all right, let's start with that. So I taped a piece of paper to her desk, and I said, make a tick mark every time you smile, and let's see if we can ease your baseline up. And she said, I've been teaching for years, and everybody's been telling me I needed to smile, but you're the first person that gave me a method to do it. Anyway, baselines, that's another important thing, but that's another workshop. Okay. So now we're going to talk about quadrant 1s. Our quadrant 1s is your people person. These are wonderful kinds of people. They care about other people. They're sensitive. They're perceptive. It's important to them that things have meaning in life. They have to be personally involved. See? So do you see how I'm doing different activities today? Now, some of you may be a quadrant 2. You're like, who cares? Why do we have to do that stupid thing over there and guess if something's magnetic or not? Who cares? I want to know the facts. What is the information here? But if you're a 1, you're like, oh, I'm loving this workshop. I get to talk to people. I get to be personally involved. A 1 learns by listening and sharing ideas. So in some classrooms, do you think your 1s do very well? If they're not involved, if they're just having to sit in a row, Okay? And they function through social interaction. So can you imagine the 1s during the pandemic? Having to just stare at a screen maybe or something. So these are your quadrant 1s. This is how they learn. This is how they get meaning. They're very sensitive, tuned in, involved. So does anyone want to tell a story about someone they know that's a 1?
I'm a 1.
You're a 1? Okay. How do you know? Tell us about yourself.
I say you talk too much, you stop with everybody and talk, and I say I just wanted to know people. I love.
Okay. So I'm guessing he's not a 1.
No.
Because he's saying, you're talking too much. I can tell a story on my older son, the one who's married to the person who gave us the Bolivianos. When she came to this country, she was wanting to learn English. When she first came, she was working as a nanny, and she thought she could be learning English, but she was just with a little baby, and so she didn't know what to do, and she said, and then I met Eric, and he kept talking, and I was learning English, and now he will not stop talking. But anyway, yeah, so a 1 is very chatty, very talkative. Anyone else have a story about someone that's a 1?
Well, I'd probably be a 1 because I don't meet a stranger.
Okay, all right. And a 1 can be very sensitive. My mother was extremely intuitive and sensitive around people. She wanted to, if someone was alone, she would try to draw that person out, even though she was shy. You can be an extrovert and an introvert and be a 1 in the sense that you're still very intuitive around people as well. Okay, so that's your 1. Now let's take a look at the 2 category. Oh, sorry. One more thing. They believe in their own experience and they model themselves after those they respect. Sorry about that. So experience is very important to a 1, and earning their respect is very important. All right. Next. Everybody good with that? Okay. The two, a quadrant 2 is a fact person. They want to know what? They want to know the details. They seek intellectual competence. That's the most important thing to a 2. Details are very, very important. They want to verify the facts. They like the chain of command, and their goal is to add to the world's knowledge. Now, any stories on 2s? Do we have any 2s here? Okay, all right, okay. Tell me about a 2. What can you share?
I know that I'm a 2, and I know I like lots of details. Tell me the fact, tell me what you want me to do, and I'll get it done.
There you go. And you always did well in school. Yes, 2s do very well in school. Did you have something? Anyone else? That's okay. that's allowed. Okay, anything else about a quadrant 2? You're going to find, yes. 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 A 2, they're very interested in facts and knowledge, and they have to get it just right, and it can be perfectionistic. I was the administrator of a Montessori school, and it was before I knew about all these quadrants, and I had my, I can't remember what her title was, but I think she was the head of the aftercare program, and she was an extreme 2, to the point that, you know how you make lists for kids in a preschool like to bring snacks, so they all bring snacks? She changed the list that for the parents, one brings bleach, one brings Lysol. I mean, this was years before there was a pandemic. You know, everybody had to bring cleaning supplies instead of food. I mean, she wrote a note to the person who waxed the floor and said, this is the key to the closet, make sure you get the threshold under there. And I had a hard time. That was like my first administrative position, and you probably figured out I'm not a 2. And I was like going out of my mind. I mean, and then I worked with another person that said, I knew someone was in my office because my chair was not put back to the exact part of my desk is where I left it. I mean, that was like outside of my realm of understanding. You know, you're talking about somebody that's just rushing through life, you know. But a 2 is extremely specific. And you notice they want to verify the facts. That's the kind of thing where you're going to be saying, you know, okay, well, last summer we were going through Chicago. No, it wasn't Chicago. It was, 1 inch over the line in this other county. You know, you can't even have a conversation. You're like, well, and we were looking at that, and there was a blue dress. It was not a blue dress. It was turquoise, See, but I show my prejudice every time I do this workshop because I'm supposed to be conveying, and it is true that they were all equally valuable, and I always give the 2s a hard time. Did you say you had some 2 going on as well?
Here's the thing. I've always liked to get into details, especially with mathematics and calculations of things. We had a church board meeting somewhat 30 years ago. They said, what are we going to do about this lecture bill? And I said, well, give me the facts. And they said, look at the bill. And I looked at it and said, aha, that's what it is. I said, I think I can fix it. So they said, we want you to fix it. So it cost $400 in parts and 3 days of work putting it all in. The next bill we got was $375.
There you go.
I read the bill, understood the details.
Okay.
Understood the details and put a stop.
There you go. Okay. The same man that fixed the dishwasher at the age of 9. It's all beginning to make sense. Okay, so that's the 2. Knowledge is important. Now let's take a look at the 3. This is your problem solver. They want to solve the problem. They judge it by usefulness. If it's not useful, what is the point? Their goal is to make things happen. A 3 will honor authority, but will work around it if necessary, because they have to get stuff done. They could be hurting people. They don't realize it because they're on a rush to get things done. They may have stepped on 5 people and they don't even know they're all these quivering masses on the ground, but they're on the way to get something done, right? That's your quadrant 3. Now you imagine if somebody is a quadrant 1 and they're wanting to chat and somebody else is a 3 and they're like, let's get moving here, let's get that. There's even a whole thing on what kind of a car all of the people would have in these quadrants. Like, what kind of a car do you think a quadrant 3 would drive? What's that? Pickup truck, there you go, that's quadrant 3. Put the stuff in the truck, let's get going, let's get moving, let's go. You know, they want to make things happen. My father was an extreme 3. You look at judging by usefulness. I mean, you know, he didn't even bother with tape and scissors at Christmas time. He just, one time he got my mother a purse, he just crunches the wrapping paper around the handle, comes out with it, you know. The season's over, he just puts a sheet over the decorated tree, puts it down in the basement. We're like, but maybe we wanted to decorate the tree. Well, my husband has a lot of 3 going on. There was a thing where we're supposed to be all holding a candle. You know, everybody around the world was going to be holding a candle at the same time for some reason. He just kind of took a drill, went to the split rail fence. Okay, our candles can go in there. I was like, but I kind of wanted to hold my candle. Or I asked him to fix my purse. The next thing you know, there's a bolt sticking out the side of it, but it's fixed, you know. So 3 is just, it's all about making things happen. Useful, honors authority, but will work around it if necessary because a 3 wants to get it done. Any other stories on 3s? All right. Now let's take a look at the 4s. Here's little Haley and Savannah, my grandchildren when they were younger. Okay, so they seek possibilities. They judge by gut reactions. They tend to disregard authority. Okay, the rules are made for everybody but me. They look for a new path, and their goal is to challenge complacency, right? The 4s are saying, what if? Why can't we do it that way? I don't care what the rules are. I got a better way to do it. I'm a visionary. I'm a thinker. We have any visionaries here? Okay, okay. Yes.
In the day of COVID, when
Yes.
we did Zooms,
Yes.
I had a marvelous little second grader who did Bible class completely looking upside down into his computer screen. And I mean, so you see him upside down, and he's bent over, he's looking at it, and all you see is upside down kid. The entire class. Everybody else is right side up, and he's just upside down.
He just wanted to be innovative and interesting, and
It's like, all right then.
there you go. So you can begin to, and we will put a lot of this together, but you can begin to see what happens if you have a teacher that's a quadrant 2 and a student that's a quadrant 4. Teacher that's a quadrant 1, student that's a quadrant 3. You know, we're going to talk about natural antagonists, but again, if you have a student, a lot of these people like Albert Einstein or whoever, a lot of these people flunked out of school because they were 4s. You know, and they could see things that other people couldn't see. They were visionaries. Some of the most brilliant, the brightest people were failures, you know, because of this, you know, not wanting to honor authority. Their goal is to challenge complacency. All right, now what about the asking questions we talked about? But I want you to think about this now. Which question would you most likely ask? You personally. Why do I need to do this? What do we need to know? How can we get this done? What if I did it another way? Talk to the person beside you. Which question would you most likely ask? How many people think that the most question they would ask the most is, why do I need to do this? Okay, maybe 3 people in here. All right. How many people, their question would be, what do we need to know? 1 person, that's all. Wow. How can we get it done? Wow, we got a lot of 3s in here. What if I did it another way? Okay, yeah, and you can have more than 1. Okay, I'm actually going to give out, this is the official learning type measure. So this, you can thank your conference for springing for these, because these are expensive documents. In order to do this, you have to be like certified to order these things, for one thing. And you're going to take the learning type measure. It's going to look a little confusing, and I'm going to ask Gary to help me pass these out. So I'm going to walk you through how to take these, and you're going to find out your own official. Yeah, you got to thank him for more reasons than one for letting us order these. You can look at it. They look rather technical. Because I admitted to you that I'm not a 2 myself, I had to keep reading the directions many times to make sure I understood it. When I was a teacher, it was just easier to me to start from scratch, and that's why I write curriculum now, because it's easier for me to just start from scratch than to figure out somebody else's directions.
That's why I just cleaned out the closet. It's been there looking at me for 2 years, and it's like, what is this stuff and what's it for?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
if it's been in there 2 years, why not do it?
I think this is good that we have the amount of people we have here, because we probably have just about enough, because I think we had 24 of these. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we got probably just close to enough, right? How many do we have left?
5.
You want to take the test too?
Yeah, I might.
You can, yeah, because then we just, yeah.
Where do you want these?
Anywhere, just, yeah, it's fine. Okay.
Do we have pencils?
I'm going to tell you how to do it. Yeah, and there are pencils over there. Okay, so before you start doing, I know if you're a 3, you're just really wanting to get this done. Yeah, the 3s are probably done already, but let me tell you how to do it. Yes? Okay, so the trick is you have to press really hard, because what you're going to be doing on page 1 actually is going to go through to page 3. And what happened to me, I didn't press hard enough, and then I had to copy all the numbers again. So
do we have something hard to write on?
yeah, therein lies the problem. I don't know, do we have anything hard that they can, like a book or something, that as they do this, that's the only thing for them to press down on? Yeah, these are some little books. These are their marriage books, but they'll have to get them back. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's the. Yeah. Yeah, there are some of these things. These are somebody else's. So you notice my quadrant. It's like I'm just giving you somebody else's stuff because I'm a 3 and I'm just trying to get stuff done. Now, if I was, yeah. I mean, you can try. What other, does anyone else have any books or anything to write on? Oh, we have crayon boxes. Yeah, we can write on these. Oh, wait, but they're kind of round. Yeah, we could try these. Okay. You can use these to write on. See how creative. Oh, you're going to trade a crayon.
I'm going to trade.
Wait a minute.
It's kind of lumpy.
I know. Here, pass the. You get lumpy versus small. But we got to get all this stuff back. Oh, how about these bowls? Oh, no, these bowls aren't going to work. You know, what quadrant is this? I asked to the office for paper. We're going to have to make a container. So we got a whole bunch of containers in the book. Never mind. Okay. Does anyone want? Oh, no, I'm running on this. Okay. Does anyone want to try writing on these boxes? Ooh. Yeah. Okay, and then let me explain to you what to do on this book once you're... Okay. Does everybody have something? Some kind of a... Okay. So look on page 1. On page 1. You see numbers 1 through 15 where it says I excel is number 1? Okay. Don't overthink it. If you're overthinking it, it's going to make you crazy. So just think which one is the most like you, you're going to put a 4. Which one is the least like you, you're going to put a 1. And then somewhere a 2 and a 3. You're trying to make that, a 4 is the most like you, a 1 is the least like you. So you're filling in a 4, a 1, 2, 3, or 4. But usually if you start with the 4, then go to the 1, you can figure out the 2 and 3. But press very hard. Now just stay with me. I know it's making you crazy, 3s, but just stay with me. Beside that, you see where it says part B? You're just picking 1 out of the 2. Okay? Just circle it. Just do that first, and when you finish, I'll show you how to score it. Okay?
Are we only putting one number up there?
No, the numbers 1 through 15, you're putting 1, 2, a 3, and a 4. Each one. Each item. If it's the most like you.
It'd be 4.
Yes. Okay. If it's the most like you, it's a 4. If it's the least like you, it's a 1. And then also you need to fit your 2 and your 3 in there.
Actually mark them in a 4 is the most like you, 1 is the least like you. So you put 4 in the 3 that is see? 4 in the blank, which describes most like you, 1 is least like you, 2 and 3 are corresponding. So and I assigned you to circle.
Now, I'm going to need, for the next room that I'm going into after this, by 3:30, the posters in the car.
I think they're still there.
Because I need the posters. I need that square black zippered thing.
Okay.
And I have some stands to put materials on that I've been carrying around.
Or are they in your suitcase or in the car?
I think I might have, they were in the suitcase, but when I was putting everything away, I might have put them back in the suitcase in the closet.
Okay, so I need the suitcase. I need those things from the suitcase. I need your black bag upstairs, and then the posters from the car.
The black bag that has the yellow thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those stands, I put them away somewhere in the room.
Fine.
I might have kept them in the suitcase in the closet. If you finish, let me know and I'll tell you what to do next. Oh, wait, don't worry about scoring. That's a very,
No, but this
yeah,
side-
but this.
We're not doing this yet?
Yes, you can do that side. Just pick one out of the two. Circle one out of the two. Mm-hmm.
Just circle?
Yes, just circle one out of the two.
Okay, if we're done, do you want us to start doing anything?
Okay. Let's see, are you done? Okay. So these you can, yep. So you can add your score. So since you did those, and then you can help me show people how you, from here, then you have to, if it's a circle, like if this is a 3 on the triangle, then you have to transfer it to the triangle. It's a really, I don't know what
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Okay, but the only one I'm confused on is
How to add
if
this
it's a
up.
plus, it was a watching.
Wait, if you.
No, if it was a plus, it
wait,
was a doing. If it
so
was a negative, it was
you-
a watching.
You add this up, so you put this, so you just add up, is it a +1 or a -1? You
Negative.
just add the scores, how many pluses, how many minuses.
Right.
Add the pluses and put it, add the minuses, subtract the minuses from the pluses. Mm-hmm. Little refresher.
It's good.
Yeah, yeah, because it's been a while.
Yeah. I wasn't trying to do it. I wasn't something else. So I have 5 plus 1 and a half. So, because I used to only observe and watch. I've never worked on actually doing.
Mhm. You know, I saw a sign somewhere. It might have been there. One of them, there was a sign. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to show you the first side, how you're going to score this one. Is everyone done with the first side, the 1 through 15 side? Okay, that's okay. But just the way you score this side, don't worry about this next page. Don't worry about page 2. Take a look at page 3 and see, did your numbers come through on page 3? Did you press hard enough that those numbers came through? Okay, good, because I had to rewrite mine. All right, so now you have to keep your finger there and turn to page 4. So page 4, you see how number 1 is a circle on page 4 in that grid? So then you have to look at number 1 and look in your circle and see what number you had in your circle on page 3. You have to transfer that number to underneath the circle, and you have to do it. Remember, they're not in the same order necessarily as these. So she was trying to throw you off somehow so that you didn't know what she was getting at for the learning. So like number 1 goes triangle, square, star, circle. So you have to find the triangle, put your number, then you find the square, put your number. So you're transferring your whole score over there. Anyone want further explanation? One-on-one, individual? I can help. Okay, so that's fine. So now you have to come, so over here, then you have to come to this page. Number 1 is a circle, so then you have to look in the circle. You had a 1, so you put a 1 here.
Okay, but you don't want me to do this. You want me to go back here and do this other?
You can do that one if you want. I was just knew that some people
Yeah,
may
yeah.
be
Okay.
ready with them. Yeah.
Is that what's supposed to come through on another page?
They were supposed to, yeah. On page 3. Did they come through on, not that page. There's another page in between here.
Yeah, that's page 2, isn't it?
Yeah, so did they come through?
Not that I can see.
I think they did.
They
Well,
did.
maybe they
Yeah,
did.
they did.
So then you have to
I
look.
can't see very well, that's part of the problem.
Somebody can help you. Yeah, it is tricky. So
I got eye problems.
can you tell what number that is?
It looks like a 1.
Okay, then you have to go to this page and you have to say what shape is that? Was that a triangle? The first one is a triangle? Yeah. So then you're going to have to put a 1 in the triangle. You have to, here, let me see if I can transfer this for you. Or are you finished scoring? Oh no, you're still going? Okay. When you finish, I'm going to have you help with this too. Wait, is this mine? Okay, so this goes 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, triangle goes 1 for the triangle, 2 for the square, 3 for the star, 4 for the circle. Yeah, Alyssa, hurry up and finish so you can do this. Okay, 4, 3, 1, 2 for the star, 4 for the square, 3 for the circle, 1 for the diamond. 3, 4, 2, 1, 3 for the triangle. 3 for the triangle, 4 for the circle, 2 for the star. 4 for the circle, 2 for the star. 1 for the square. Number 4 goes 2, 3, 1, 4, 2 for the triangle, 3 for the star. 1 for the circle, 4 for the square. Number 5 goes 2 for the square, 1 for the star. 1 for the star, 4 for the triangle, 3 for the circle. Number 6 goes 3 for the star, 2 for the square. 1 for the circle, 3 for the circle, 1 for the circle. Okay, number 7 goes 3, 4, 2, 3 for the circle, 4 for the square. 2 for the triangle, 1 for the star. Number 8 goes 3 for the circle, 4 for the square. 2 for the triangle, 1 for the star. Number 9 goes 1 for the star, 2 for the circle. Star, 2 for the circle. 3 for the triangle, 4 for the square. Number 10 goes. Okay, all right. You stopped answering. You did the first 9.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
That's 4, 5.
Yeah, you're going to start at number 10 and keep going.
Okay.
These are the, okay. Yeah, and then we have to make sure once that dining room gets opened, then that's where we're going to set all this up. Perfect, thank you.
So we total, right? No.
Okay, no. That's would that it were that easy. Oh, yes, you already transferred them. Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes, yes. So
So
you
I
total,
total
you
and
total,
circle,
yes,
yeah.
yes, yes, yes.
Okay, so I don't do nothing with
Yes,
this?
now with this, you're going to have to say
Ah.
how many minuses do you have and
Okay.
how many pluses.
Okay.
So but see, some of these are, they're not necessarily in order. Yeah,
in order.
but you got to put the pluses and then the minuses and subtract the minuses from the pluses. Okay? All right.
You have your numbers here, you see? Hopefully you can see.
Oh, okay, the numbers go through. Okay.
So, this is the,
You understand also how to score your Part B? You put all the pluses and then you put the minuses, sorry. So on page 3, Part B scoring instructions, just circle if it's to the right, then circle the one to the right. If it's to the left for that number, circle the one to the left. And then you put all the pluses and subtract all the minuses and you get your score. So page 1, all of your scoring ends up on page 3. Does that make any sense at all? Okay. Do you okay? It's kind of tedious, but.
And then on this one, we just add down.
Yes. So once you get your numbers, add them up, and you almost know your quadrants.
Yeah, my doing this right here. So, the plus and minuses aren't on the same side. They
Correct.
change.
Correct.
So then, you take this from this,
Correct.
and so this is, and so then I transferred this.
So then you go over to here. So part B, you can put your score, and then all of the quadrants you can put your score. So part B, you got a 1. Okay.
What do you do? So then you add this stuff up? I moved
Yes.
this
Yes.
to here?
Yes. Yes. And now you got to add all these up.
Okay.
Okay. So, let's see. You went over. You transferred that from that page. So how many minuses do you have? 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So you want to put all your minuses here, and you want to put all your pluses on top.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Wow. Interesting. And tomorrow we're going to talk more about this. So, really? And what did you used to be? Oh, wow. So you kept the 3, but you changed a 2 for a 1? Wow. So part B, you're just putting your wait, you got to, okay, let me look at it. And then I'm going to kind of wrap up in here.
So I had 3 positives and 8 negatives.
That's what I was saying. Can you have a negative?
Yeah, so you're
okay, you
so
can
your
have a
doing
negative
score
number.
is yeah.
Okay.
And you're basically looking at your doing score and your watching score, because the top one's your doing score, the other one's your watching. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Okay. Bring these with you tomorrow. Finish your scoring. If you have questions, you can stay and I'll help you with them a little more. But we're going to talk about this. But let me just do our wrap up here. Okay? Everybody, can you stick with me for 1 minute?
Yeah.
Okay, so bring these tomorrow. Finish scoring. If you have questions, just stick around. So what I'm going to do in the other room, I'm going to set up, so if anyone wants to see our 3 Angels for Kids materials. And I said the first 10 people, I'm going to give one of our posters. Now, I know there's 24 people in here, so I think Actually, this probably comes closer to a pack of 24. So I tell you what I'll do. If you will do me a favor, I will do you a favor. I'm starting out my YouTube channel. I'm putting up a lot of videos for kids, and you have to have 100 people before you can get your own URL, and I'm up to like 65. So on here, if you will take a picture and like my channel, this is just like unabashed behavior influencer. But if you tell me that you liked my YouTube channel, I might just find a poster for you when you come in there. Yeah, you can just take a picture with your camera and it will bring you to the website. And if you subscribe, I want you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. But anyway, these are the materials that we have produced for kids, and I'm going to set them all up, all the grade levels and everything, in the dining room for all of you to see. I have beautiful stuff that you're going to want to see. Okay, so that should, take a picture of this. Yeah, of the QR code. If anyone gets it to work, you did, and you were able to subscribe to it?
Well, I pushed on it. It's getting there. It's you lost the Wi-Fi.
Oh.
That's what it's trying
Yours?
to tell me. Is that it?
Yes.
That's it?
Yeah. So, yeah, yay. So now I'm up to like 66. Okay.
This is from these here, these totals here.
Yeah. And
That's what you put here.
yes, that is correct. So then tomorrow I'll tell you all about it, so bring it with you tomorrow. So you have to go closer to just the QR code, just this, and it will take you to the
I
website.
think I may have taken this thing before too.
77.
77!
It says 77 subscribers. That's 70. 78.
Oh, how long does it take to teach the kindergarten version? Oh, all of these are like 10 lesson plans, but it will take you a little longer, like maybe 3 weeks. You have to close up to the QR code.
Oh, to the QR code.
She's going to help you too. Oh, I'm getting even higher now. Yay! Okay, I guess it's 3:15, but be sure to bring your assessments tomorrow.
So are you going to tell us how to do that plotting?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you all that tomorrow. Okay? So, Eric, do you know if that door is open over there? Because they asked, I was going to set up the materials here, but they said to go into that dining hall. So be sure you come over there and I'll show you all the stuff.
Okay, so now what do I do here?
Okay, so does it have a subscribe button? Right there, subscribe. Yeah, just press that. Want to subscribe?
So sign in.
Oh, yeah, just put that. Oh, you have to put your Google.
X that.
Gary, I don't know if you want to do a